Hello, so we're just going to talk about the Acuity Select HS. This machine is actually a HS38. This means it's got 8 channels. If we look at the machine, you can see that we have a bed which will take a sheet up to 2.5 by 1.25. Currently I've got 6 individual sheets masked off on the bed to print. The machine comes with zonal vacuums, so at the front of the machine you'll see that we have some valves, and these can be turned to isolate certain zones on the bed, which we'll see a bit later. Also on the machine we have some ink bags. So these ink bags are where the Fujifilm UV jet ink goes in. They are 2 litres for the colours. The only other item in here is some coolant, which is for keeping the print head at a set temperature and the ink's controlled accordingly. You are able to hot swap the inks when the machine is printing. On the other side we have some other inks. We've got the light cyan, light magenta, and the white and a varnish on this. The white and the varnish come in a 1 litre bag. These, whereas compared to the 2 litres of the other colours. So, walking around the machine, we have conventional lamps on this machine. The machine itself is designed so that it has a trip switch here. So if this hits anything and it raises, the machine will stop printing. So it's like a little, if you've got a height difference on your materials. Looking at the printer, so this is the waste catching. These mirror, if you like, where the print heads are. So this machine is a high-speed machine. It has a single twin head, but 2 of each colour. So you can see as we match as we go along, you're just seeing the ink waste. If we look underneath the printer, you will see the print heads, which obviously where the ink waste is being collected, and that's what's doing the printing. You see the print heads sit in a platen. They're flat against the head. They're not actually exposed. Very low risk of hitting anything anyway. This is also an area where you can do a manual clean, so you can actually get a wipe and some flush and clean the print heads manually. Or this machine actually does have automatic cleaning, where we can actually select from the menu and just clean individual heads. So we're going to go over and look at this side. This end is where we have a pad which automatically, when we do a head clean, will open, the heads come over, and this is where it's purged and vacuumed away from this. So this is the top of the range high-speed machine with all the extras. Going to go around now and start the job printing. So if you'd like to watch from that side, you'll see it starts. So it's got to turn the UV lamps on. So the lamps are now coming up to temperature. I'm going to do a nozzle test print. This will just show us the quality of the print heads, as in there's no any nozzles missing. So obviously we can see what inks we've got in here. We have motion in progress. The carriage is now moving. This machine, there is an anti-static bar. So this is an anti-static bar. And this is, if you're running on plastics, you can turn that on to deionize and take away any static. So otherwise, we're doing a nozzle test. So if you come around this side, you'll see the heads coming over, and it's just going to print in this near corner a nozzle test, building up the colour so we can see the white and the varnish. So this is showing you the condition of the print heads currently. So you can see there might be a tiny one of the varnish missing on there. So this machine can rerun as 2 whites. At the moment it's set as a CMYK, a light cyan and a light magenta, a white, which you can see here, and a varnish, which you can see on the other end sitting on top of the black panels. So pretty much all good in there. The odd nozzle missing on the white and the varnish, we won't see that. They're actually easy to clean. So as far as cleaning, going to the menu on this end, as far as maintenance is concerned, I'll just show you initially the counters on this. So this machine has actually only completed just over 1,000 prints in its time and only than 522 square meters. So relatively low usage. If we go to maintenance, this is how we do the cleaning. We go to auto maintenance, and then we select from the menu which color we want to clean. So if I want to just clean the varnish, I just turn the varnish on, I'll turn the white off, I'll hit do maintenance, and then the carriage will move from the right to the left. So what's happening now is the ink is being purged through the print head, and the pad is vacuuming off the waste ink back into the reservoir at the far end, and that's how you do an automatic clean. If you want to do a manual clean, as we showed a little while ago, you can just pull the door open and use an approved bud and some flush solution and just clean the head accordingly from there. So the process is very easy. This machine will print on anything up to 50 millimeters thick. It's conventional UV lamps, so very good for sticking to a huge range of materials. So obviously it's all about adhesion in this environment, and this is what Fujifilm are particularly good at. So that sort of concludes the initial talk about the HS38. Thank you. So both of the machines we've been showing you today, the 38 and the LED 40, are capable of producing lots of effects such as we're seeing here. So what you have here, if you like to come closer, is we have a range of materials. Some of them are aluminium based, aluminium composite materials such as this. So it's a metal material. This is actually a glossy black material. I don't know whether you can pick up on there, but we actually have a varnish, which is creating a shape of the vinyl effect. So what we're doing here is we're hiding the material with a white spot colour, and then following it with a colour, and then finally going over and printing a varnish. So both these machines are 8-colour machines, and they can be configured with a varnish, or they can actually be configured with a double white, which means you've got a much stronger white, and it prints a little bit quicker. So big range of things. I mean, with a varnish, it's quite slow, but you are able to do some very special effects, which you can probably see on that one. UV inks, of course, have very good opacity. So when it comes to backlit materials, you get very good opaque colours. Obviously, with the light behind it, that would look quite stunning. Unusually, with a white ink, because it's a flatbed, you are able to image the white separately from the colour, and you can build up a texture. So this texture that appears like leather is actually built out of an image, a bitmap image with a white, and then we're printing on top of that a CMYK image just to fill the colour in. Another one which is a bit different, this one here is actually printed reverse. So we're printing colour and then a white, but in a density mode. But on the front, obviously, you can see that we've also got a varnish sitting on the top layer of the acrylic. Other effects such as we're seeing here, we can just see a brushed aluminium composite material. And all that's happening here is we're putting a white down to hide that aluminium and putting colour on top. So the aluminium, there is a hole in where the text is, where you can actually see the numbering, and everything else has been hidden by white with a colour on the top of it. So some very creative print you can do with this machine, but you can also do some production as well in comparison.